Yes, people, how are you all doing? So, player and manager recruitment are absolutely vital in this summer, in any summer, but in this one particularly, with all the problems that's going on at Leeds, we have to, once that's solved, get the right people in. In this video, I'm going to go through my top 5 managers or coaches who I think are best suited to Leeds United, who can take Leeds United back to the Premier League, and from there progress. Let's get into it. Yeah, starting off at number 5, it's a bit of a wild card. It's John Dale Thomason. Now, when I watched Blackburn, not a lot, like 3 or 4 times this season, I was very impressed with the way they played. I liked the way they tried things. You know, they tried overloads. They like to use width. Fullbacks getting really high. They created overloads. The rotations from strikers was very good. And I was very impressed with the way they played. I thought they looked like a side who was coached very well. They finished 7th in the Championship in Dal Thomason's first season, and the goal difference was the difference between them and the playoffs at the end of the day. And actually, I think it's a bit of a wild card, but I actually think it'd be a really good appointment. It's been talked about a lot on the football sphere about going somewhere higher potentially. It's been talked off a lot about how good he is, how good he could be. He did well in his previous job, and he's done well in a short period of time at Blackburn. There's an exciting style of football, or attempts to. You know, if you can really back him, bring in the players that we should be able to bring in, you have a real good coach to work with there. So for me, it's one of them. Could be a risk, but also could have a very big upside. So that's John Dale Thomason in number 5. In at number 4 on my list, Michael Carrick. Again, another one this season. I don't know if you've watched Middlesbrough. I was impressed with the way they played. You know, when Carrick came in, I believe they were in 22nd in the league, and he got them up to 3rd, and actually finished in the playoffs in one season. That is extremely, extremely impressive. It's a short sample size, but at the end of the day, it's a fair amount of games to prove yourself. From a team from 22nd, from a team to 3rd, playing a good style of football. He likes to play with a front 5. So you know, when they have the ball possession, they'll play in between the lines. They'll try and overload areas. They'll try and get runners in behind, or they'll come to feet. They'll try and overload and beat certain areas of the pitch. So, for example, if they have the ball in the middle, they'll create a front 5 in between the lines. You know, kind of similar to what City and Arsenal do in that sense. As you can tell with Carrick, he's a really calm guy. He's a really good guy. He's a winner as well. He's won in his career, and he enjoys playing good football. And for Leeds United, you can get someone like Michael Carrick, who has a good shot but good record, plays good football, possession-based football, is what we need with very good players. You're looking at Akpong, who's got 28 goals this season. You know, there's real progression and real potential in Michael Carrick. He's had a short career, but it's been very impressive so far, and I liked what I saw. You know, again, people talk about Man United. I don't care about that when it comes to recruiting the right people for your team. That's a support thing, isn't it? You know, that's when we play them. That's, you know, the rivalry. But when it's a guy who's a very good coach, I think it'd be a very good option for Leeds United. If we're going for that Project Young type manager, I think this will be good. It'd be difficult to take him from Middlesbrough. I think he'll like what he's building there. But if we can offer him that project, he's a real good coach in there who plays beautiful football and has done a lot of good things in a short period of time. We are up in the ante now. We are getting serious. Serious. Number 3. Carlos Corberán. We all know who he is. We all quite like him. A lot of guys don't want him. A lot of guys do want him. He seems to split opinion. Now, again, the thing is with Corberán, when I watch his sides, they work hard, they're industrial, they're effective. That's one thing I've noticed. They are very effective. It's probably not exciting as people might think, given, you know, the Bielsa roots. He's very solid defensively, and he relies on a good structure as a team off the ball to then allow you to progress forward, right? Not necessarily possession based, but he likes his team to be able to hold possession as well. But off the ball, whether it has to be a press or whether it's a sit, he knows the right thing, and he likes his team to be very disciplined depending on where you are on the pitch, which is very important. And again, he does like to keep the ball if he has to, if he can, if he has the players to do so, he would happily do that. Again, create overloads with fullback. And again, people will take back the Bielsa thing and say, look, it's not like Bielsa really. There is obviously similarities there. The players are extremely fit, they love to run, but they have a very good structure and a very good shape. A guy I would take a risk on. That Leeds connection does help. But as a coach, he's done good things. What he's done with West Brom, taking them from the relegation zone to just outside the playoffs. 3 points, 1 game. In that short period of time, to me, is very impressive. What he did with Huddersfield, he established them in the league. Got some players in on little money, by the way. He didn't spend a lot. Got them to the playoff final. That was the most impressive job he did for me. He got fired at Olympiacos, but that was after like 8 games or something like that. Clearly, he needs a bit more time to work, which is why if we're getting Carlos in, which I think is doable given, the position at West Brom, they're going through a bit of problems. Get him in, give him more time to work with players. And that's the problem we're seeing at the club right now. We're not giving that time. Yeah, for me, it's one of them again where we have to take away sentiment. Taking sentiment away, I would happily be went for Carlos Corberán. I think he's a very good coach and would get us back to the Premier League with the right backing. Just want to clarify before I go into the last two. The last two for me, very difficult. And they're honestly both number one. There's no difference. I just put them in a certain order because I had to and for the sake of the video. But let me be real. Both of these coaches I would take in a heartbeat. Any of these I'd be happy with. But let's get on to number 2. It's a man, Brendan Rodgers. Look, like I said, could easily be the number 1, and he's probably up there with number 1. And in fairness, Brendan Rodgers has had the most successful career out of any of these guys, and has the most credit. Yeah. So Brendan Rodgers, could be number 1. Probably is in a way. The only reason he isn't is because number 1 for me, I just absolutely adore the football he plays. But with Brendan Rodgers, he still plays beautiful football. If we got him in the Championship and backed him, I would back us to win the league comfortably. Now, the issue is, one, getting Brendan Rodgers in. He's a very established coach. He's got a lot of good stuff on his CV. He's won FA Cup. Got Leicester, they were in the Champions League, I believe. Did well at Celtic, nearly won a league at Liverpool. He's a good coach. He's very sort of in football. There's not a lot of jobs right now. Maybe he'll wait for a job to pop up. Maybe he wants a long-term project. I don't know. Again, if we go in with an ambitious salary, an ambitious project, and we back him, and we make promises that we're going to back him, I think there is a chance. A chance. I'm not saying it will happen, but there might be a small chance. He could easily say, no, he wants Premier League. Fine. You have to try it because he's that good. And if you have a real good vision and a real good project behind you, you can get a guy like this, I believe. Difficult, but you can. And let's not, what happened at Leicester with Brendan was unfortunate. Let's be honest. But they didn't improve when he left. There's serious problems there. They've also come down with us. So they've got issues there. They sold their best players. They didn't back him. He came out and said, I'm not being backed. We have to back him. We have to go for this. This one's big. This one could be huge for Leeds. They can get someone like this. This sets a real statement for the league. That is my number 2, Brendan Rodgers. Go for it, Leeds. So some names I just want to throw out there that have not been put in this because I don't believe they are right for us right now, or some of them didn't quite make the cut. One of them was Nuno. Again, he's in the thumbnail, as you can see, he's on the right side. I would be happy with Nuno. Let me put that out there. He won the league here and did very well and dominated the Championship. That team was incredible. Got the right players, he got backed, and he won the league. No drama. He then went to the Premier League and originally did very well with Wolves. So there is an area there that you can look at. He just didn't make the top 5 just purely based on my personal opinion. But I still would be very happy with someone like Nuno. Again, I'm looking at people like Gerrard, Sam Allardyce, Vieira. For me right now, I'll say no. One, I don't personally know what style they play in terms of Gerrard and Vieira. I don't know that yet. I've not done my research. But what I saw from them this year in the Premier League didn't excite me. That's not to say it's not effective or it will do well in the future. Just right now, what I need from my club is beautiful, exciting football. And I don't think they're at a stage yet, potentially, where they can give that to me. I need that, right? I don't just want to win. I need to watch some beautiful football. It's been 2 years, guys. We need that, don't we? So that's why they're not in the top 5 for me. Without further ado, on to number 1. Andoni Iraola. This is the one I want. Now, as to why, let me get this out of the way real quick. I do not want him because he's a disciple of Bielsa. That is not true. I know of him because of that, but I also know of him because of what happened when we were linked with him. Since then, I start to watch Rayo because I'm interested. I'm in the football. I like to learn things and different styles, and I absolutely adore the way he tries to play. And what he did with Rayo Vallecano, finishing where they did, establishing them in La Liga, and then pushing for Europe on a budget of next to nothing, to me is absolutely incredible. And I'm seeing him, I'm watching the football, I'm seeing him, look, they lacked quality, did some of the players, and that's to do with the budgets and stuff like that. The actual way they attempted to play for me was just, there is airs of Bielsa ball in there. Quite different in ways, but a lot of it is fairly similar. But he's his own coach and he's got his own ways of thinking and his own ways of playing, and that's what I love about him. He's kept little bits in there, but he's got his own thing. He learned from that. You can tell he's learned from that style, but then he's gone on and created his own style of play. And if we could get him, I think not only would the Leeds fans love it, and they'd love coming to Ellen Road, watching that style of football, but again, get results with the right players, and that's the link here. And the reason I'm doing the coaching video next to the play video is, for me, them two are vital, and recruitment is vital regardless of what's happening at the top. That needs to get sorted quickly so we can get on with the important things, which are these on the pitch things that we need to figure out quickly. Because if we want a guy like this, let's be real. There's going to be a few suitors out there that also want a guy like this. There'll be teams in Spain, I imagine. Maybe some teams in the Premier League. I don't know. Again, it'll be a difficult one. Definitely someone I think we could get, again, given the right project, potentially. I'm not saying he would. He could be out of his league. He could be out of our league, sorry. But I think it's something we could get, in my opinion. I think you guys will love the way he plays. I've been out my way to try and watch as much as I can of them this season, and they did tail off, but that is down to quality and stuff like that. That is not down to the coaching. And for me, a young manager like this, coming into a project that we could build on with, if we got into the Premier League, we could really build with him. I think it'd be a no-brainer. Probably a risk. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. So was Bielsa at that point. You got to take those risks. And that's it, guys. That's my list. I think it's a solid list. I've gone for some different ones in there, I think, potentially. Some obvious ones as well. I didn't even mention Potter, but let me just say, if again, I would 100% take him. I just think he's probably out of our league, potentially. Maybe Rodgers is. I didn't want to put them both in there. Do you know what I mean? But we need to sort out what's happening at the top right now, because it's agonising as a club, but we are suffering from this. And all I want is my club to do really well. And that stuff at the top needs to get sorted so quick. Or some of these managers just won't bother. They'll already be in work at their clubs. They'll be recruiting players. We need to move fast on this. It's as simple as that, really. But yeah, that's my 5. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that 5, and what's your 5. Give me a list. Any 5 you think. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say that's wrong. It's opinions, right? Any 5 you think is the best, let me know. I appreciate all the support. Trying to give this positive vibe video, with all the rubbish stuff going on in the background, all the horrible ownership at the top, but all that mess that's going on. But yeah, this is my managers. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate support.